Solar is an important part of an off-grid setup, especially when you're starting a homestead, because solar chargers are reasonable priced. You can run your electric fences, and then there are other solar activities, like for example this pump right here that's aerating the water. So we're going to talk a little bit about solar, its drawbacks and benefits. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. You may notice here that the pump is pumping and then it stops pumping. And so this is actually a solar aerator, a little fountain. It's got one panel, it's got one motor, and one, well, that's it. Just some wire and that's it. So if I've got enough solar to turn the motor, I'm gonna get some power. Otherwise, the power is lost. There's no battery, charge controller, nothing else to regulate the power or to fluctuate the power. And so sometimes you're gonna have a well pump that's set up this way, and that pump is only going to pump when the sun is out. And so in that design, you need to actually pump that water up to a cistern or a head tank so that you can get the water out to your fields. In the case of this solar charger, it's got a solar panel, and inside of there will be a capacitor or some kind of battery that will hold enough power to run this when you don't have any sun, because you don't want your fence charger turning on and turning off throughout the course of the day. You want to be able to store enough power to run for a 24 to 48 hour cycle so that you can power your fence even when there's no sun. And this just goes right up on top of a T-post. It's a very portable charger, and this charger is actually strong enough to run about 200 feet of this fence here. So it's good, but it's not great, and it'll give you probably a good 48 hours if you don't have any sun. The challenge with sun is that even when you have the sun, it may not be of enough intensity because of cloud cover in order to run the power packs and such. So what we're going to talk about in the next part is a couple of different solar chargers and then the repairs associated with that, because solar, once you bought it, if it breaks, you got to fix it. Where if you just have power from the power company, they're responsible for repairs. Before I go on, solar is something you pay for up front, and so the equivalent is, let's say you're grid connected. If you have a bill of $50 a month on your grid, and you bought $6,500 worth of solar power, which is enough power to run a small house, it could be a pretty affordable system. It's going to take 130 months to break even, meaning if you were able to connect to the grid for free, do it. In many places, you can connect to a grid with no charge to yourself because they've got grants and incentive programs. But if you're able to connect to the grid, at any case, you should, because it's going to be a lower cost up front. And once you have power, you can start doing other things like generating some income so that you can afford a standalone grid system. Great thing about a grid is as long as you have sun and batteries and your charge controller's working and your inverter's working, you can easily keep that system running for years. The only problem is if your break even is longer than 5 years, the technology that you're using in the solar system will become obsolete, because every 5 years or so, the solar has much greater capacity. We have double-sided panels today. We have lithium batteries. When I bought this charge controller just a few years ago, it was one of the best things out on the market for what I could afford, but it's not as good as what I'm going to show you in the next section of this video.